What do you know about the Indigenous connection to water and water crisis?
I know that they are struggling to get clean water. As an example, 2 hours north of Ontario, there's a place where clean water is not available, and people there are using bottled water to even brush their teeth.
My understanding is that nature is very important to the Indigenous peoples in Canada because they see the earth, nature, as part of Mother Earth, and that if you don't look after it, it won't be able to look after you. So it's a very spiritual connection between nature and the Indigenous peoples.
So I know that Indigenous people regard water quite at a high regard in their community and their cultural aspects. In terms of the water crisis that are going on right now, I know that it's something big for them because you're taking away a resource that they depend on, right? Everybody uses water in their daily life for cooking, for taking a bath. So just taking away that basic resource is something which is quite dramatic.
What could have been the main cause or the reason for them to have a water crisis back in the days or even now?
I think one of the main reasons is that they were not given the same opportunity as other people. They were moved to a place where clean water is not easily accessible, even in those days, and it's still continuing. So one of the reasons could be that even though they have put in requests to the government multiple times, it's taking its own sweet time to get clean water.
Well, the water crises in the past were caused by white men, in my opinion. The governments, the people who tried to, they forced people out of their original lands, put them into reserves, which were the worst areas to go into. It's what areas that nobody else wanted. And because there's no money being put into keeping these areas healthy.
I think mainly it has to do with where their habitats are located. Because I know for a lot of Indigenous people, they don't live in the same communities that we do, so having access to water is something. But I do know they like to build their communities near bodies of water, so like different lakes and rivers and things like that, because they like to kind of live off the land. But I guess other things maybe currently that have been affecting the water crisis is, again, the government.
Okay, the last question. Do you know anything that how water is used in Indigenous people's ceremony and celebrations?
Water is one of the 4 elements that are very sacred to the First Nations people. They use water in many ceremonies. These include water walks, water ceremonies, sweat lodges.
That I don't know much about. I do know that having clean drinking water is vital for life. Now, how they use it in religious ceremonies, I'm not sure.
Not that much. I know that sometimes they use water for some cleansing rituals, but that's pretty much it.
This is not the reality for many Indigenous communities in the US. Did you know that Native Americans are 19 times less likely to have access to clean water than white households?
The brown water coming out of the sink is polluted and dangerous. This video was filmed on a Native reservation in Canada, and it's just one of dozens that don't have access to clean water.
So honestly, I'm just gonna keep sharing this, but this is just a sample of the water I took from my tap the other day.